This first month of the membership site, I want us to focus on the approach and overcoming the fear of approaching and introducing yourself to a new stranger, communicating with strangers. It's a big fear for a lot of people. I found that it was the biggest milestone for me to overcome the worst part of anxiety, because if I knew how to introduce myself to a new stranger, that's a really, really nice and powerful weapon. Even if you're socially anxious after that, at least you can introduce yourself to a lot of people. I went to a school, it's called a folk high school, a few years ago. It's actually like 7 or 8 years ago. And that was a very big year for me, a very happy year where I connected a lot with people. And my mentor at the time, before I started, went there for my first day. He told me, because I was asking him for advice, what should I do when I get there? And I was scared of doing this. And he said to me, say hi to everybody. Introduce yourself to everybody. And he told a story about him doing that just a couple of weeks before that in a wedding that he was at, because he had this plan of I'm gonna overtake this wedding. I'm gonna lord the wedding and become the king. That really fired me up. I don't want to be the center of attention. I was very attention seeking at this time, and I was still, and it's something I still have, I guess, but there's less and less of it. This was before the big stunt that I did a couple of months after that, actually. I did the stunt where I went in public and dressed up with a sign where it says, I'm a complete fool, and I walked around with an underwear outside of my pants for 3 hours just to humiliate myself on purpose. And that's a very advanced exercise that you can do later. But for now, we're going to focus on approaching side. And by the way, I did that. I said hi to everybody in school. We were about 100 people then, and it just took 1, 2, 3 days, and everybody knew me. And I became, famous really quickly at that school, which is a stupid thing to say, but it's what I was thinking anyway. So I'm just being honest. And that helped me the whole year. I was never struggling with. I had tons of people that I could go to and talk to, because when you're the guy who introduces yourself to a lot of people, there's a lot of people who will remember you, because maybe they just know 3 people. On average, maybe everybody knows like 3 or 4 people. And then they know you as like this guy that they wave to. And when a lot of people wave at you, everybody will see that, oh, who's that guy? And you're gonna look charismatic. You're gonna shine a little extra. And this is completely selfish. You're basically, but it's a useful tool. It's a very useful tool. And that helped me throughout the year to actually connect with the people as well. And I did that too. I spent the whole year actually having conversations. I tried to hang out with a lot of people and getting perspective. So that was extremely powerful. So I want the same thing to happen with you as well. Overcoming the approach is amazing. And this, by the way, was a warm kind of approach. But another thing is approaching strangers on the street. That's a real approach. And that's actually what we're going to focus on. I don't know what kind of community you're in, but at least we all have the public. So if you have your workplace and you're a little embarrassed of, I don't want to do the exercises at my workplace because I already know these people, and it would be weird for me to suddenly act like this guy when they're used to me being like this, because there's this self-fulfilling prophecy going on in your community. So, but in public, where people don't know you, they don't expect anything from you, and you can be whoever you want. Even though it sounds scary, maybe when I say public, it actually is. I can have social anxiety stuff happening in a gathering in a community where I already know the people, just as much as in public. And that's my experience. It's just that most people don't ever try the public, and it should be experimented with. It's not that scary. you actually don't care because they don't know you. There's nothing personal. So yeah, you're less judged in one sense. Okay, let's get to it.